Welcome to Wisdom Friday. Today we're going to discuss how to navigate a situation where God says to do something and you don't want to do it. It is the opposite of what you want to do. You want to be obedient, but it's just hard, okay? What do? Let me give you a biblical example. So in the book of Jeremiah chapter 42, the context what's happening here is that Jeremiah and the people of Judah experienced the Babylonians coming in and taking people captive, killing them, and burning down Jerusalem. And so once they were there, once they stayed behind in Judah, the king of Babylon left in place a man named Gedaliah to govern Judah. And Gedaliah is governing Judah. He's doing an excellent job, but there is a warning towards Gedaliah, and the warning was, listen, somebody's going to kill you. They want to assassinate you, so run or kill them before they kill you. And he's like, no, this person, Ishmael, will not kill me. I don't believe this. Now, it happens in Jeremiah 41 that Ishmael, with his men, kills Gedaliah, and Gedaliah is dead. Now Babylon had put in place a man to rule over Judah, to rule the remnant, the remainder, the poor people that stay behind, to keep the vineyards and the land and harvest and plant things, right? So now the people that were left behind realized they might be in trouble by the king of Babylon, because now they killed the governing person. So what do? They go to Jeremiah the prophet and say, hey, Jeremiah, what should we do? Should we go to Egypt? Or should we go, because Egypt was like an ally for Judah at that point? Or should we stay in Judah and just wait to see what the king of Babylon does to us? Should we wait for Nebuchadnezzar, or should we escape to Egypt? What do you say? And verse 5 is important, because let's do verse 4. Jeremiah says, all right, he replies, I will pray to the Lord your God as you have asked, and I will tell you everything he says. I will hide nothing from you. Verse 5 is important. Then they said to Jeremiah, may the Lord your God be a faithful witness against us if we refuse to obey whatever he tells us to do. They're saying, whatever God says, we will do it. Whether we like it or not, we will obey the Lord our God, to whom we are sending you with our plea. For if we obey him, everything will turn out well for us. So they knew, and they told him before they even sent him off. They're like, listen, plead with God, talk to God, plead with him for us. Whatever he says to do, we will do, because we know whatever he says, we will benefit from that. We will benefit from what God tells us to do, because he'll protect us. Now, 10 days go by. Jeremiah comes back and says, listen, I took it to God. He replied, God says, stay in Judah. Do not go to Egypt. If you go to Egypt, X, Y, and Z will happen. If you stay in Judah, X, Y, and Z will happen. Now, what happens to them in Judah, or what God says will happen to them in Judah, is good things. He tells them, I'm going to be faithful with you. I'm going to give you security. I'm going to give you favor in front of the Babylonian king. He won't harm you. He will be nice to you. Do not worry about his reaction concerning the death of Gedaliah, who was killed by Ishmael. They're like, no. They don't listen to that. They're just like, listen, we know we told you that we'll listen to whatever God says, but we already had our preconceived ideas of what we wanted him to say. So because he said the exact opposite, we're not doing it. We're not doing what God says to do, because he didn't say what we wanted him to say. Okay? And so they decided to go to Egypt. The opposite of what God says to do. God said, stay in Judah. All will be well. I got you. They're like, no, we are going to Egypt. And before we go to Egypt, we're going to take Jeremiah the prophet with us as well. We're going to kidnap him and take him with us. Okay? They go to Egypt, and the rest you can read yourself. But the point of me bringing this story up is because it's things that God tells us to do that are not comfortable, that you're like, wait, I asked you because I thought you would say what I want you to say. Don't say the opposite of what I want you to say. Now, how do you navigate that? Philippians 2:13 says, it is God who wills in us, who works in us to do his good pleasure. It is God who works in us to do his good pleasure. So I'm going to tell you or give you an idea on how to navigate whenever God tells you to do something that you don't want to do. Yes, you say, Lord, let your will be done. Let your kingdom come. Whatever you say, I'll do. You know, your will, not my will. Your ways, not my ways. Your thoughts, not my thoughts. But when it really comes to, when push comes to shove, you're like, this is uncomfortable. I thought you would say what I want you to say, right? But Philippians 2:13 says this, and this is a New Living Translation, for God is working in you. God is working in you, giving you the desire and the power to do what pleases him. So your prayer is, Lord, work in me. Give me the desire and the power to do what pleases you. Lord, what you're saying is hard. What you're saying is horrible to me right now. But work in me. Give me the desire and the power to do what pleases you. You're a good God. You're good and do only good. Amen. That's what I do. So I'm sharing what I do. Lord, I don't like it, but work in me. Give me your desires. Give me your desires. Give me work in me to do what pleases you. Amen. That is Wisdom Friday. I hope this blesses you. Bye.